Welcome back, everybody. My name is Fia Gloss, and today we're playing Botched by Hankworx. This is episode 3, I guess, in the Hankworx marathon that I've just decided to do for no real particular reason other than I like Hankworx games. All right. Funny thing, today I was not going to record. I've recorded actually quite a few episodes, and I'm only releasing them a day at a time. But you know, I just got a hankering to play a Hankworx game. So, just actually wanted to play one, and I thought, well, might as well record it then. Alright, so here is Botched. An unconventional dark romantic horror circling around depression, morality, tragedy, and infidelity. Botched features a visual novel-like reading experience with character dialogue, meaningful choices, and multiple endings. The story allows you to choose the protagonist's words and reactions while psychoanalyzing the player. The game contains mature, explicit, and depressing content. Audio and visuals may not be suitable for some players. For fans of and inspired by Silent Hill, cool. Cat Lady, alright. Harvester, absolutely yes. Phantasmagoria, absolutely yes. H.P. Lovecraft, sure. Stephen King, yes. Twin Peaks, yes. Weirdness, yes. Darkness, yes. Psychology and psychological horror in general, excellent. Can't wait. This is exciting. All right, we're playing with the mouse and keyboard today because I do not own a controller, and takes 25-35 minutes, and this is for Darktober 2018, so this is a year later than What's Her Name. All right, and no playthroughs of this one, so that's probably completely ridiculous. That's probably should switch over here. All right. There's a warning, content warning here at the start, so just, be aware. I mean, it's a Hankworx games, guys. There's a content warning. Come on. Yeah, this is definitely like a visual novel. It's never gonna stop raining. We'll just get bigger umbrellas or climate change. It's the worst, the absolute worst. Top 10. You said it. I hate the rain. I live in the Pacific Northwest. Oh, did I just screw up already? Hold on, guys. Hold on. Whoa. Can't do me like that. We're starting over. I was gonna say, I like the rain. I live in a rainy place. So. Alright. Now I know. I'm timed. So I need to be a little more, gotta have a little more spunk, a little more skip in my step. I'll say you said it because I actually enjoy the rain. That I did. Thanks again for doing this. It means a lot to me. This is Jane. I know how much, hey, I know how much we both need it right now. Yeah. I don't really know our relationship, but hey, it's always cool to hang with your friend or whatever. My sessions have been helping me so much. I've just learned not to blame myself, and you shouldn't either. There's nothing that we can do now but keep going. I know talking about your emotions isn't your favorite thing to do. This is for you. Well, it's for us too, though. You've got to want to feel normal again, so we can both feel normal again. Normal, huh? Yeah, acting like nothing matters doesn't help. Very true. Welp, here we are. I think I'll go back home and work on dinner. I'll be back in an hour. I love you. Okay, so. Same phone sounds. Excellent. Is this the same phone even? I used to have a phone exactly like this. This almost looks like a Razor. Almost. Not quite, though. From Alice. Alice is someone else. You should come over later. Yeah. No. Already with Jane as far as I'm concerned. That's all I needed. That's all the exposition I needed for Jane to be the girl for me. You must be John. I'm Tasha Melfi. Nice to meet you. Why don't you have a seat? All right, Chris Hansen. So, John, have you ever been a patient of talk therapy before? Well, I haven't, so no. Well, my responsibility is to allow you to set goals for yourself and help you define your own steps to reach them. Okay, I can understand that. John, I'd like to discuss the incident that brought you here. Yeah, what incident? The one involving threats you made to multiple coworkers. We've all been there. Look, just work with me here and it'll be painless. Then I'll sign that piece of paper over there that says you can go back to work. Any further discussions we have are entirely up to you. We do need to have one certain discussion first. This incident today with your coworkers, it seems to stem from some forces outside the working environment. I'd like to ask you a few questions. Are you generally a happy person? So I'm going to just answer for myself here on these questions because I'm going to just bare my soul on the internet. Why not? I'm glad to hear it. They say the best way to be happy is to actually try to be. Very true. Many depressed people are well practiced in their depression. They spend so much time in it that it becomes regular. Yeah, I would think that sometimes, I don't think it's all the time, but habits definitely form, and it will definitely cause you to be stuck in a rut. And so long as you're continuing your same habits, it's very difficult to expect things to change when you're sort of unwilling to change things. And it's hard to know sometimes what those things are. And so you just have to constantly self-reflect, I think, personally. But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about me. Do you ever feel powerless? I'm going to go, well, usually no. I feel like I'm in control of my situation. That's good. Never relinquish your own self-control. Yeah, that's why I just, I'm a big reader of philosophy. I like to read philosophy, but I just don't even read about philosophy of free will because I feel like that'll just screw me up way too much. I don't read about it. Although power in itself can be destructive, both to yourself and the world around you. Do you consider yourself physically healthy? Oof. Yeah, we'll go yes. I do exercise regularly and all that. But I think that's just because I'm getting older, and I'm like, oh, great, I should have been doing this for 10 years. I'm an old man. Anyway, physical and mental health go hand in hand. One always affects the other. A healthy lifestyle, I think Tasha's going to think I'm just sucking up to her. A healthy lifestyle is one of the major factors of conquering depression. Do you like your job? So like I said, I'm answering for me here, so we're going to go with a big fat no. Unfortunately, that's the reality for a large majority of the world. We don't have to like our jobs to be happy with ourselves, but it helps. Yeah, it helps a lot, especially when it's the majority of your time. Do you think it's important to find fulfillment in your work? I think it varies from person to person. Me personally, I think you have to find some sort of thing that that makes you feel like you're actually accomplishing something. Anyway, people tend to live much happier lives when they believe they've done an honest day's work. I think some people, they can kind of just like do what they do and it's not a big deal. But for me personally, I have to like be good at my job, or I don't feel right, or I have to like know the ins and outs of everything that I do. Do you consider yourself a social person? I'm on YouTube. Absolutely not. Alone time can be good, although too much time to yourself can be bad. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with socializing, but I only do it when forced. Humans are social creatures. We get hungry for social interaction, the same way we do for food. Is there something in your personal life causing you stress? I think if you have to think about it, that's probably a no. So, no, Really? The only thing stressing me is I don't like my job. Come on, John, you can't expect me to believe that. Why don't we start from the beginning? You start from the beginning. Take me step by step through today, starting with the first thing this morning. This might be another situation where, you know, it's a Hankworx game, so I'm not going to totally identify with the main character here, but we'll do it. As I opened my eyes, I considered that every day would be the worst day of my life for the unforeseeable future. I had some terrible dream I couldn't remember. I tried not to think. The more the world came into focus, the more I wanted to shut my eyes again. The sun hadn't risen, but I wasn't going back to sleep. There was a sharp ringing in my ears that almost spoke to me. My mind was already traveling a mile a minute before I pulled myself out from under the covers. The clock said it was 4:44, and I didn't have to be to work until 7:30. Jane had called off work indefinitely. I couldn't blame her for it. She suggested I do the same, but the last thing I wanted to do was mourn. I needed distraction. At work, I could make myself useful and focus my body on something different, something else. Maybe nobody would ask any questions. Jane readjusted the covers as I got out of bed. It seemed she was asleep, and I was grateful for that. I didn't have the energy for any communication. I wasn't tired, but I felt like I had been hit by a truck. She had been so full of life up until the week before. I was really worried about how she would handle this. I had spent years in a depressive, apathetic slumps. But Jane was the opposite. She used to look forward to every day. She'd wake up smiling. As I made my way to the bathroom, a wave of suicidal thoughts swam over me. The ringing in my ears seemed to get louder. Every possible scenario of the day ran through my head, and I rationalized to myself that the easiest way to deal with everything would be to put a stop to it all. I thought about life and how pointless it all was. I thought about how I'd spent 3/4 of the last year preparing for something that was no longer in existence. I thought about how selfish it was to feel that way. I imagined how much happier lives everyone could live without me. I didn't turn the light on. I didn't want to see myself in the mirror. Just the idea alone made my stomach churn, and before I knew it, I found myself hoisted over the toilet, vomiting. I never liked the bathroom. It's too quiet. Far too much time for wandering thoughts. Although my thoughts had been racing long before I'd entered the bathroom. I broke the silence of the bathroom as I spewed up the remaining contents. I almost found solace within the distraction of the act of vomiting itself. Well, hey there, kiddo.
Hi.
What are you doing? You should be in bed, shouldn't you?
Hi.
All right.
Hi.
For a few seconds, there was nothing on my mind but the bile spew. Bye. You're ruining the drama. Good night. For a few seconds, there was nothing on my mind but the bile spewing from my throat, and it was a relief. Bye.
I love you. Say good night.
Good night. I laid my head upon the rim of the toilet. Sorry for the just had a little bit of a tonal shift there. Let's get back in the mood here. I laid my head upon the rim of the toilet. It was cool against my face. The smell of my own extrusion drifted up my nostrils and made me want to hurl again, but there was nothing left inside of me. I must have fallen asleep right there. I had a dream. I don't recall the details of it, but I remember a strange sound in the distance and a strong sense of purpose within the dream. Visually, it was hard to perceive. I had a noticeable headache, but it somehow reassured me that it was a dream. The walls and floor pulsed and throbbed. They had a flesh-like texture reminiscent of tendons, and I was afraid to touch them. I was also afraid they'd touch me. I just want to pause here and just say that so far, this might actually be one of my favorites of Hankworx. if for no other reason than just the visual and audio, I think is the strongest in this game out of all the Hankworx games I've played thus far. Um, it's just so Hankworx. Just looking at it, like if somebody showed this to me, I'd be like, "That's a Hankworx game." And if somebody had me listening to it at the same time, it'd be 100%. I'd know it. Just want to throw that out there. Like this is super great looking, super great sounding. This is exactly what I like in a soundtrack personally. You know, it's a subjective thing, but this is what I personally like. My head throbbed in syncopation with the area around me. It doesn't hurt that it's well written, too. I just want to throw that out there, too. It hurt to see, so I closed my eyes, but all I could hear was the noise in the distance. It was calling to me, whatever it was. I heard it say my name. It sounded like a cry for help. Pull if you wish to forget, is what the sign in the background says. There was a drawing on the ground. It looked like a child drew it. There were broken pieces of a fluorescent light bulb scattered on top of it and around it. There was a strange lever with a sign behind it. Let's pick up the drawing. I cut my finger as I picked the drawing up. Blood ran off my finger onto the corner of the drawing. Oh, I should have studied the drawing a little bit more. The sign above it read, "Pull if you wish to forget." Let's not pull the lever. Even though I argued for ignorance earlier, I'm going to pretend that I don't argue for ignorance ever. Here we are. I came to as my face slowly slipped off the rim of the toilet into the bowl. I spent a few moments hovered over the toilet trying to recollect pieces of the dream, but I figured I should stand up before Jane found me there. The bathroom walls seemed to pulse in the same way they did in my dream, and I had to pinch myself to be sure it was reality. I rinsed my mouth out in the sink and stood up only to see my face staring back at me in the mirror. I tried not to look into my own dead eyes. I opened the medicine cabinet so the mirror wouldn't look back at me. Only now, my medication was staring me in the face instead. My mind had grown so tepid and lifeless, I didn't know whether it was the drugs or my own psychological neglect. Never neglect your own psychology. Huh. So... It's kind of like one of those situations. I personally don't take any kind of like medication for anything. And I kind of like, this isn't fair, but I have like a little thing against it. Which is perfectly comfortable for me to say, right? So we'll go, I didn't take the medication. But I understand for some people that's their path. It's just, for me personally, that's like not in my... I don't feel like I need that tool set yet, you know, or anything, you know, I don't feel like it's for me. I don't think I have any kind of problem like that. Have you been depressed since adolescence? When I was an adolescent, I was definitely, so we'll go with yeah. This is, you know, my current state of mind is definitely due to decisions I've made as an adult and long-term goals I've made. So anyway, don't want to get too personal. Too late. It can be very hard to change a mindset you've grown up with. Yes, it can. That doesn't mean change isn't possible, though. Change is always possible. Anything is possible. Not true. Do you frequently have suicidal thoughts? No. Good. Those kinds of thoughts can be extremely self-destructive. You said it. As if it needed to be said. Is there any history of mental illness in your family? Probably have a similar experience to most people. I suggest you not dwell on that. Although genetics do play a role in depression, many people allow their family's history of mental illness to excuse their own behavior and thoughts. I've seen that, but with like alcoholism and stuff. People do that, where it's like, well, my parents were alcoholics, so I don't have a chance. So I'm just gonna be absolutely sloshed all the time. When it comes to nature versus nurture, you can't allow nature to determine how you take care of yourself. Do you consider yourself a narcissist? As you talk to yourself in a room, all alone? Nah. Is selfless a more appropriate term? I wish I was more selfless, but no. Are you prone to anger? I feel like I am, but so we'll go with yeah. It isn't healthy to bottle up your rage, but it also isn't healthy to unleash it upon others. You've got to decide for yourself to become angry rather than allow a situation to dictate your emotions. Very true. So I wish I could like gold star that next to that for anybody who's watching and this is ringing too true or something. Like, you get to control the inside. The outside you don't have any control over, but the inside, that's all you, and that you get to determine what the inside is like. I mean, barring some like mental things that are out of your control that you'll have to find your own solution for, whatever that may be. But the inside is your little realm, and you don't have to let the outside dictate that unless you want it to. And it's not like that's easy, but that's definitely a thing. Do you think you have an addictive personality? I have the opposite. Anytime I have something that I think I'm addicted to, I like immediately I'm like, I'm gonna quit it. As people may know, I've quit sugar and caffeine right now, because I don't drink or smoke or anything like that either. So I just thought, might as well just get rid of the couple things I do enjoy. Good. Addiction holds too much power over modern day society. We're surrounded with more problems than ever before. Wrong. I disagree with that. Instant access to worldly communication and information has allowed us to all become so disconnected from reality, which in turn led to higher addiction rates worldwide. I don't know if this is true, but I agree with parts of this. What do you do to tolerate being trapped in your own mind? I distract myself with things I enjoy. I maintain control of my own narrative. I count on my friends and family for support. I do whatever, really. I drink and smoke. I think I do this the most. That says a lot about your ability to control yourself. These nightmares, there's some kind of recurring dreams, I'm assuming. Would you like to spend some time discussing them? Sure. Sure, if you'd like. My sister's a big dream interpretation person, so I'm ready for it. Tasha, you may as well be my sister. I've always been fascinated by dreams. I think they say a lot about our unconscious and subconscious minds. What part of the dream you described to me was most prominent to you, the most memorable? I would say the atmosphere. And why was that significant to you? It reminded me of someone. Yeah, Hankworx, which is a someone's, as far as I know. The atmosphere, it seemed. It reminded me of. We'll go with it. Reminded me of someone. I see. Do you believe that dreams hold metaphorical keys to our realities? Hankworx, you're killing me here with these tough questions. I think that dreams are your way of chunking through whatever's been on your mind, and sometimes you can dream about something and it says more about how your brain is connected to itself in some ways. Kind of shows like it's like your brain telling itself a story, you know. So no, I don't think it's like. Do you usually remember the events in your dreams? I'll go with yes. My own paper walls was actually based on several dreams I had. Do you believe dreams can affect your physical and mental health? Not really. I just think dreams are kind of dreams. They're a well of creativity, in my opinion. They're a well of of ideas taken out of their context and then placed in a strange, different, new context. And you can read into it if you want, but I don't think it really has any meaning beyond what you ascribe to it. There you are. How did you sleep? I slept okay. Yeah, I had a weird dream. About what? I'm not quite sure. There were fences and gears and fans. There was a crane moving some block so big that it made the ceiling shake. I could feel it in my bones. Then it felt like, I don't know, like something snapped and the whole world dropped. Everything was falling. I was so scared. I was waiting for it to end, but we kept falling. The place crumbled around me and the ceiling slowly broke away, only to bury me bit by bit. And then I woke up. I just want the nightmares to end. It will end, just trust me. Okay, yeah, it will be fine. I've almost come to terms with it finally. It only took me, what, a week or so? I'm not like you. I can't just bounce back and pretend to be okay. I can barely talk about it. You should take as much time as you need. Yeah, I mean, whatever happened, I don't know what happened, but whatever happened, I mean, it can be. Everybody gets through things in their own way. It takes a little time for some people, and some people, like, they're better the next day. So what do you want for dinner tonight? You know what? I'm up for anything. Anything, huh? I just know I want chicken. All right, chicken. Let's do it. I don't I don't really like chicken, but we'll do it. I'm here. Why not? I said anything. Let's do anything. Then it's settled. As long as you don't mind, I'll drop you off at work today so I can use the car. The garage should be done with the truck by the time you're done at work. So I'll pick you up from work and we'll swing over there. This just feels like my normal life now. Okay, sounds good. Cool. Well, I'll text you anyway. I guess we should hit the road soon, huh? Except I walk to work. We hardly exchanged any words on the drive. I didn't feel like talking. My head was swimming in a usual sea of thoughts, though the majority of them were related to the contents of the freshly filled grave, smaller than normal, not far off my route to work. I could almost see it at one point, though the rain didn't help. I wonder how many more times I'd drive by that grave in my life. How many times I'd take my eyes off the road to glance in its direction. It was stupid to do a burial. The whole service was stupid. Why even have a burial? Why let anyone know? Her mother posted the obituary without even letting me know. She put it in the local newspaper for the whole town to read the tragedy. All right, well, I'll text you later. Have a good day. I love you. Are you a religious person? Well, like I said, we're answering for me here, so. Do you believe in fate, that life has a pre-written destiny, so to speak? No. Do you think we live in a just world? No. Are you a monogamous person? Yeah. Do you believe in karma, that what goes around comes around? Not particularly. People are going to be like, what's this guy's problem? What's he talking about? Hey, look who finally came back. I missed you. Give me a hug. Yeah, it's good to be back. About time. I've been thinking about you. So, is your truck at the shop? I hear about Jane and your child. I'm sorry. But this is, and I just feel terrible for saying it and even thinking it, this is perfect for us. I don't know what you're talking about. Still keeping secrets, huh? We can't keep it a secret forever. John, we both can't keep ignoring fate. I know I can't. I'll catch you later. I don't trust you, Alice. I'm a Jane man. Just wanted to say that I love you. I hope you have a good day. I love you too. This isn't the exactly the most ideal circumstance, but it's given us a chance to erase the walls that were holding us back and come together as one. I've never felt more complete than when you were inside of me. I know that you have a passion for me. I know that you think of me when you're with her. There are no ties anymore. You have no reason to hide being with me any longer. What was it you said to me that week she was at her mother's? It's not her, it's the baby. Well, now what? If you don't break it off, I will. You know. Okay, so work. I was on the floor, like I usually am, 8 hours a day. It wasn't long before I let my thoughts roam. You know, let's just focus on work. We're obviously stressed. You know, let's just try to keep something good going. The life I built for myself was crumbling apart in my fingers. It didn't make any sense to me, but it was my fault. I was the one who turned concrete back into sand. I was the one who had sinned. I brought God's vengeance to the innocent person I was supposed to protect, and I was reaping everything I sowed. True. Hey, don't blame Alice, man. It's you. Alice is a feisty snake woman. No, it's just you, man. It's just me, man. She hides her deception behind her beautiful eyes. I've never been more sexually attracted to anyone in my life. And part of the allure is how very wrong it is for me to feel that attraction. She had always made her interest in me very forthcoming and was unwilling to take no for an answer. I'm not feeling sorry for me at all. A few weeks ago, my truck wouldn't start after a late night at work, a fairly common occurrence. What is my deal? Alice drove by and offered me a ride home. Jane was out to dinner with her mother, so I accepted Alice's offer. When she parked in front of my house, she started touching my leg and moved it towards my thighs. Before I knew it, we were in the back seat. It felt amazing while it was happening, incredible, unbelievable. Nothing ever felt so primal, so instinctive. It was the best sex I'd ever had. The moment it ended, I was overwhelmed with guilt, remorse, and dread. Good. That was the same night we lost our child. I was replaying that day in my head, somewhat detached from reality. I had managed to distract myself from the depressive thoughts by focusing on the sexual ones. Someone interrupted me. Something in me snapped. I don't know what happened exactly. I usually keep everything to myself at work. I'm comfortable in my own negative thoughts. I've been surrounded by them my whole life. The next thing I remember is sitting in my boss's office alone. He came in and told me Joey was going to be fine, and I needed to go home. Then he told me I had to come see you tonight. Hey, there you are, handsome. Pretty eventful day, huh? Heh. So you need a ride? No. Huh, whatever. I told you I'm a Jane man. So how was your day? It was weird. Yeah. My mother called me when I was at the grocery store and got upset because I didn't want to talk. I'm getting tired of her shit. You know what? I don't know what to say. So, whoops. Anything eventful happened today? There's an incident at work. We gotta be honest, okay? Honesty is the best policy. Oh no, honey, I'm sorry. Maybe you went back to work too soon. I heard a funny, stupid, spoopy joke today. See, this is why I'm a Jane man. She says spoopy. Do you want to hear it? I don't care. It's Halloween. I'm going to tell you anyway. Why did the one-armed skeleton fail as a comedian. Okay, before I get the answer, I gotta think. Why did the one-armed skeleton fail as a comedian? I don't know. The rest were twice as humorous. Dang it. Dang it, you got me. All right. Humorous. Bones. Okay. How about this one? See, this is why I knew from the first conversation that Jane was the one. What's Skeleton's favorite instrument? The trombone. Thanks for putting up with me. I love you. This is the opposite. Those are some dynamite jokes. Well, here we are. The mechanic told me the radiator was leaking, but it's all fixed now. Ooh, that would be kind of expensive, wouldn't it? I'll see you at home. Be safe. I felt like a pile of shit. I wanted to tell Jane. You should. I wanted to tell her weeks ago. I wanted to tell her before it ever even happened. I never did. I don't know why. I'm a coward. It's tough. I was terrified of the outcome. I was scared of being alone. I was scared of her leaving me. I was scared of her moving on with her life. I was scared of her blaming me. I thought about the best ways to kill myself. The water under the bridge looked inviting. I imagined myself dangling from a rope off the side of it. I envisioned lying down in the middle of the road, waiting for a passing vehicle to crush my skull. I visualized my head smashing against the trees I passed. All of those thoughts were more comforting than the thought of facing reality. It felt like I had no control. Even when I tried to do the right thing, it wasn't the right thing. I always thought I was a good person, but the more I analyzed it, the more I found myself to blame. I wanted to believe that if I did what I thought was right, I'd be able to sleep at night. Jane and I would be able to move past this. Yes, people always, like, the first thing your brain wants to do is it wants to say that you're right, and it wants to say that you're the good guy. Like, it's just like this natural inclination. And so people will often justify doing terrible things to another person in order to maintain that they're A, right, and B, the good guy. And it's like, I'm not even saying that like I've moved past this. I'm saying it like, me too. We all do this. Hey you, I've almost got dinner ready. Well, ready to start cooking anyway. Chicken. I've got a psychiatrist appointment. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot. I'm sorry. I can't tell you how happy I am that you're doing this. I'll ride down with you. This will be fine in the fridge till we get back. And now you're here. John, I'm somewhat speechless. You're a man who's been through a significant trauma and who has made some regrettable decisions that place a heavy burden on your shoulders. I'm sorry, John. I just have a few more questions and we'll wrap up for the night. Please only state the truth. Are you feeling the same shame and guilt as before about your infidelity? Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to be with Alice? No. Do you plan on telling Jane? This is like the worst conversation probably to ever have with somebody, but absolutely you got to talk to Jane about it. Do you want to stay with Jane? Yeah. Do you feel like your transgressions are somehow responsible for the loss of your child? So this is one where it would be difficult to feel, I mean, I don't believe in fate, but if you did, or if you felt like karma was a thing, that people get their comeuppance in this world, then, I could see how you would feel that way, but they're not related. The bad guys win sometimes, like all the time, actually, a lot of the time. Do you think Jane has handled the loss well? It seems like she has. Do you believe you're at risk of committing suicide? For me, no. If I'm role playing myself, then no. And do you think someday you'd consider conceiving another child? Well, I mean, if it were me, yeah. Yeah. I see. Thank you for your honesty, John. I'd like to see you again as soon as possible. Please come back tomorrow morning. In the meantime, think about the people around you. Harness others' strength as your own. Consider new ways to face your challenges. It seems Jane is here. That's like not very good advice in my opinion. Yeah, just, draw on other people's strength and you'll be fine. You just keep going. Keep on keeping on. Like, it's literally like, all right, buddy, keep on keeping on. I'll see you. And make sure you pay the person on the way out. Here's my card. I'll see you in the morning, John. Please don't hesitate to call. Hey, you. How was it? Oh, yeah, that's private. You don't have to tell me anything you don't want to. Yeah, Jane. Little thing called HIPAA. I don't mean to be a wisecrack tonight, guys. I'm just really jazzed about it. This is probably my favorite Hankworx game I've played so far, and I'm just feeling really jazzed about it. Well, dinner should be ready by the time we're home. Do you feel any better? Do you think it helped? John, did you eat anything today? You used to be a human being. One capable of rational thought. One capable of considering others. One capable of doing the right thing. That was a long time ago. What happened to your soul? There you are, sleepyhead. Chicken is ready. Obviously, you need to eat something. I made sure not to turn the front light on. I didn't get any candy for the trick-or-treaters. Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting it's Halloween. Plus, I don't think I could keep myself together in front of children. Please talk to me, John. I can tell there's something on your mind. Yeah, it's important. Actually, if this is about the baby, can it wait until after dinner? It's not. It's about us. Oh. I love you, Jane. John, I love you too. I just don't want to lose you, and I feel like I am. Ooh, John, you're going right in for it. I slept with another woman a few weeks ago, but it was just a one-time thing. Who is she, John? She's someone at work. It's not important who she is. Jesus fucking Christ. Is that her now? I can't fucking believe you. Let's see what she has to say. When are you coming over, sweetie? I've been thinking about you all night. Here's something to make sure you're thinking of me. Ooh. She sent you a picture. Wow. She looks like a nice girl. I can see why you like her. I'm sorry, there's no excuse for what I've done. I can't believe this. Can you ever forgive me? Okay. John, slow your roll. We're not at forgive yet. We're nowhere near there yet. Do you even want me to forgive you? How could you do this? While I was pregnant? What did I do to deserve this? How can you live with yourself? I remember so clearly now. You left before dinner and said you had to work. And while you were there, that's when I thought I stopped feeling a heartbeat. You should have called me. You would have answered while you were fucking her. Yeah, John, come on. Oh, John, you're making this so much worse. You gotta just like... I mean, I've never been in this situation. So, I don't know. I don't have great advice, but like, just being like, hey, by the way, I know you're about to serve me dinner and everything, but I slept with another woman. Can you forgive me? Like, that's not. Forgiveness is like a long away thing right now. You didn't even ask me anything about my night. I wanted to tell you, but I wasn't sure you even cared. I waited until you were at work the next day to go to the hospital. This isn't my fault, Jane. Regardless of what I've done, you're the one who made your own decisions. We would have lost the baby anyway. Shut your fucking mouth, John. I agree. I'm with Jane. John, you're not making it better. You're the most despicable human being I've ever known. My mother was absolutely right about you. Oof. Just shut the fuck up and get the fuck out of my life. I know we can't just forget about this, Jane. I want you to forgive me. I want to be with you. I'll do whatever it takes. It's too late for that, John. I wish I could forgive you so easily, but I can't. I've got to live with myself. I don't know how I could ever trust you again. That's probably fair, too. Just leave. You clearly have somewhere else you can be. I don't want to go there. She's batshit crazy. How about I don't want to go there, like... Okay. What the fuck? The light isn't even on. There's no candy here. Oh my fucking god. Do I have to tell it to your face? What happened when she... Oh. Ooh, it's... We're getting the layers. What happened when she opened the door? Alice was waiting there, wearing a bedsheet like a child's ghost costume. I tried to stop it. She dropped the bedsheet, and there she stood, bare naked in my front door. Alice had a knife in her hand. She looked beautiful. Jane looked back at me, and then... I'm sorry, I can't do this. I don't want to talk anymore. What happened, John? She swung at Jane's throat. Jane moved quickly enough to get out of the way. I ran towards the doorway, screaming for Alice to stop. She locked eyes with me and smiled. I tried to wrestle the knife from her hand. She kicked me in the groin. That's when she made her way towards Jane. Jane was cowering in fear at the bottom of the staircase. I managed to get back up in time. I grabbed Alice's hand, and she turned back towards me. She looked dead in my eyes and told me this was all my fault. She struggled against me, bringing the knife towards my throat. We struggled. I turned the knife back towards her. I punctured Alice's gut with the knife. She looked into my eyes as blood poured out of her mouth. She's at the hospital now, in critical condition. The doctors don't think she's going to make it. We were up all night talking to the police. Jane had nothing to say to me. She went to stay at her mother's. How are you doing, John? I really don't know. I don't know what I should do. I don't know what you should do either, John. This is like... We're in some deep stuff now, John. Placing blame upon yourself won't do any good. I wish I had the right answers to give you, but you have to come up with those yourself. I have to go. I'll be in touch with you, Doc. John, wait. I had so many questions and no answers. I didn't know what to look forward to. I didn't know how to move on. I wanted to help Jane. She didn't want me to help her. I wasn't sure if she'd ever speak to me again, and I couldn't blame her. I couldn't stand being in my house. Alice's blood was stained on the floor. The chicken sat on the dinner table, already collecting flies. The house reeked of death. I couldn't tell if it was the rotting meat or the blood-soaked carpet. My stomach churned. I turned back out the front door. There was one thing I was certain of. I was alone. It was somewhat of a relief. There was no one to disappoint, no one to satisfy. The only thing I had to take care of was myself. Maybe this was a good thing. Maybe I could get a fresh start. Maybe I learned a lesson. Maybe I could be a better person. True. That's all you can really get out of that, I guess. You know, a situation like that, Jane probably is not coming back. And it's really kind of like, who can blame her? You know? It's, I mean, that's perfectly reasonable for her to not want to come back. Initial mental health assessment. Yeah, maybe John just kind of does need to be on his own, you know? Patient John Doe, say, because there's 3 letters. Why not? Dr. Tasha Melfi, PhD. Date of evaluation, 10/31/2018. Reason for evaluation. Requested by employer. Patient threatened coworkers with violence. Highly stressed due to personal relationships and family tragedy. History of depression, social outbursts, and frequent mental instability. Patient seems capable of self-control. Has a thorough understanding of depression and the necessary tools to combat it. Capable of handling daily stressors of life and responding appropriately. unlikely to hurt self or others, tends to enjoy simple things in life rather than dwell on the negative aspects, high capacity to act professionally, reasonably, and considerable? Maybe considerate. Well, thanks, Hankworx. I appreciate it. Likely to consider the difference between right and wrong while considering the long-term effects of his own decisions. Finds fulfillment in the happiness of others. That is why I'm doing this whole shenanigan. Demonstrates a moral compass for others, unlikely to silence their opinions. You know what? So far, I gotta say, even though this is kind of blowing smoke up, up my ass a little bit, I have to say, like, this does, I feel like this kind of resonates with me. Like I said, I think it's painting me in an extremely positive light. I wouldn't be this glowing with me, but, measures self-worth and social aptitude by one's ability to think for themselves. Okay, sure, yeah. Unlikely to silence their opinions. That's totally true. And it gets me into a lot of trouble sometimes. I try to keep it completely disconnected from this, though, so don't worry. Highly likely to voice opinions and feelings regardless of the effect on others. Demonstrates closed-mindedness and not interested in new concepts and ideas. Ouch! Hit me, sting me. I was feeling so like, just the dagger in my back. Unwilling to accept others' suggestions and believes his opinions are factual. Okay, that's probably fair. Lacks a consideration for the future. Organizational efforts and planning skills. That's probably fair. Shows disregard for punctuality, cleanliness, and responsibility. I'm extremely punctual, and I'm pretty responsible. But cleanliness, yeah, okay, that's fair. Low sociability and places low value in relationships. Okay, that's probably fair. More likely to spend time trapped inside his own mind than in discussion. Probably fair. Observes a trusting and cooperative social approach. Somewhat submissive with an ability to convince others even when they may strongly disagree. I am not usually described as submissive by people who know me. Just in general. But that's fair if it's true that I'm actually more submissive just with an ability to convince people, that's like not gonna destroy me. Low likelihood of depression, anxiety, mania, and self-harm. High emotional stability and not easily irritated or stressed. I'm actually easily irritated, I would say. So, okay, that was Botched, a game by Hankworx. No credits this time, which is unfortunate because I have to say, I think Botched might be my favorite Hankworx game so far. We're always open for, but the only thing that I think could beat Botched right now is if Sheila and the Seven Gates to Hell becomes like a real project and gets finished. But I have to say, I just love the story, and I kind of like how I've only played it once, so I don't know how much changes, but I do like how it's kind of like that it's like, yeah, it doesn't, you don't, even if you feel like you're making all the right choices and you're trying to be serious, you don't necessarily get Jane in the end. I mean, she's her own person. She's gonna figure it out, and maybe that involves you and maybe it doesn't at the end of everything. But I just kind of like how you don't, this game is kind of about how you don't get to choose what happens. I don't get to choose that Alice is actually like extremely crazy and is coming in to kill you with a knife. I don't get to choose that Jane doesn't forgive me and just just leaves. And I don't get to choose that, I'm having problems at work. I don't get to choose that, that Jane and I lost the child. Don't get to choose any of those things, but I do just get to choose how my character sees it. And, that is the realest kind of thing I think you could ever put in a game about this subject matter, is that your actions don't really necessarily change what happens, but your actions do change what you think about it. So there were a couple little, grammar mistake, well, just typos really, here or there, but aesthetically, sound design, and I'm gonna say even story wise, like, this is the strongest Hankworx game I feel like I've played. Like I said, the only thing that comes close is just the promise that I saw in Sheila, and it's a promise that could be realized or couldn't be. It's Hankworx's decision whether they want to finish it up or not. But just gotta say, like, this is probably my favorite. I mean, this is my new favorite. And it had, to me, it had that balance of, I mean, obviously it's a bit ridiculous that, like, all these things happened and, people are dying and all that stuff. I mean, that's kind of crazy, but it felt like a real story. It didn't feel overly dark. There's some jokes in there to kind of like, there's some jokes and there's some neutral parts of you interacting with another person. And, I was getting drawn in some ways, I'm imagining Jane as like my actual real world wife, and it's like, what would I say to her if she was saying these things to me, and what would be the person I'd want to be when I'm around her. And like, for a game to draw you in that way is pretty cool, pretty powerful. And that's kind of the power of a story, I guess. So just like, this is just great. I mean, just awesome. And, I don't know if Darktober does rated things, but, yeah, it doesn't look like it's rated in any way. But like, that's just like, is there huh? But yeah, it's just that was excellent, top tier, um, top tier stuff. Anime like characters. I didn't read the silhouettes as anime personally. So Hankworx, you did it again. You probably made my favorite game so far of yours. Um, super great, super great. Um, excellent game. So if you guys would like to try it out yourself, and you could answer your own way, or answer for yourself, or answer like just as a character you're playing as. Link will be in the description. Check it out because this is super cool. And thanks for watching. And see you guys on the next one. I'm gonna obviously keep going with my Hankworx marathon here. Probably the only person who is a wise enough person to know that you gotta do a Hankworx marathon. So thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. Have a good night.